I'm Shomajit sir. Today I'm here to deliver my lecture on topic ecosystem. So in the last class I have discussed about biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Today I'll discuss about ecosystem and we'll learn the basics out of it. An entire ecosystem will be discussed today. So watch the entire lecture to get a maximum benefit out of it and so that your basics will be cleared. So without any delay, let's start with the topic ecosystem. So let's start. So from topic ecosystem you can see here. Let's move to the next slide. See, ecosystem. First we have to know what is an ecosystem. See, ecosystem is the interaction between living component and non-living component. Clear? So the living component includes, that means the living component are biotic component and non-living component are non-living component are abiotic component. Clear? So you can see ecosystem are divided into two types. One is biotic component, another is abiotic component. So under biotic component we have producer, consumers and decomposers, and under abiotic component we have air, water, wind, soil, temperature, rainfall. So under biotic component I have just said it is, and there are three types: producer, consumers and decomposers. And the consumers you have primary consumer, secondary consumer and tertiary consumer. So we'll see this entire chart in detail in the next slide. Now what is an ecosystem? As I have said earlier, just now I have said, see, the concept of ecosystem was first put forth by A.G. Tansley in 1935. Ecosystem is the major ecological unit. It has both structure and function. The structure is related to specific diversity. The more complex is the structure, the greater is the diversity of the species in the ecosystem. The organism is always in a state of perfect balance with the environment, and the environment literally means surrounding. Now ecosystem and its component. Now see, as I have shown the flow chart that's given in a definition form. See, an ecosystem consists of all living organisms in an area along with the non-living component and their interaction. They are of different types of ecosystem. There can be natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Natural ecosystem like forests are there, deserts are there, grasslands are there, mountains are there, ponds are there, lakes are there, rivers are there, oceans are there, etc. These are the natural ecosystem, that means naturally found. And next we have artificial ecosystem, that means like garden there, park is there, crop field is there, aquarium is there, zoo is there. Artificial means these are man-made one. Clear? Man-made substances. Now the component we'll discuss in detail one by one. See, an ecosystem consists of two main components. I have said earlier, one is biotic and abiotic component. Biotic component means living component and abiotic component means non-living component. So under biotic component, what is the biotic component? See, biotic component are living components like plants, animals and microorganisms. They consist of producers, consumers and decomposers. Clear? Now what are producers? Producers are green plant which produce food by photosynthesis. Alright, what are producers? Producers are a green plant which produce food by photosynthesis. Example, plants are there. Now consumers, what are consumers? Consumers are herbivores which get their food directly from plants, carnivores which get their food indirectly from plants, and omnivores which get their food directly or indirectly from plants. Alright, so under consumer there are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Herbivores means they take in they take in food as their herbivores means they eat vegetables, all right, or they eat plants, isn't it? Herbivores. And carnivores means those who eat flesh. Clear? Omnivores, those who eat both veg and non-veg. Like human beings are omnivores. Next we come the decomposers. Decomposers are organisms which decompose dead plants and animals. They decompose complex organic substances into simple organic substances in the soil, which are again used by plants. Alright, so decomposer mainly work as a decomposing the substances. Next, what are abiotic substances or abiotic component? Say abiotic component are non-living component, just I have said just now, like air is there, water is there, soil is there, mineral is there, sunlight is there, temperature is there, and wind is there. Now abiotic component. Now you can see abiotic factors. Abiotic definition has been given: the non-living physical and chemical parts of an ecosystem. Although they are non-living, they influence and support the biotic parts of ecosystem. On land, these factors might include water availability, amount of sunlight, temperature, altitude, precipitation, soil nutrients, and wind. So in the water, they might include like temperature are there, sunlight are there, penetration are there, salinity is there, and nutrient level are there. Now the biotic component just now I've discussed. See, different living organisms constitute the biotic component of an ecosystem. This refers to the large forms such as trees or mammals, small life forms such as insects and algae, and microscopic life forms such as bacteria. So biotic meaning of or related to life are living factors. Plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria are all biotic or living components. Clear? But all living factors. That means biotic and living factors includes plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, all living substances. So here the differences have been given for biotic and abiotic factors. You can see living factors, example plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, these are living component, these are biotic component. And non-living means a biotic component, examples water, sunlight, soil, air, and temperature. Next, what is a producer? Clear? Just now I've discussed. See, producers means those who prepare food by themselves, like plants, isn't it? So plants are called producers. Plants are called producers because they are able to use light energy from sun to produce food like sugar. From carbon dioxide they produce sugar, or they produce food that is in the form of sugar from carbon dioxide and water. So we know the reaction of photosynthesis, that carbon dioxide plus water. Four raw materials of photosynthesis are there. One is carbon dioxide is there, water is there, sunlight is there, chlorophyll is there. So when carbon dioxide reacts with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, glucose is formed, isn't it? So the process by which plants make food is called photosynthesis. So photosynthesis means plants are doing, and they are autotrophic in nature. That means they can prepare their own food. Now consumers. Under consumers we have studied, isn't it? Herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. So consumers means those who consume organisms that have to eat other organisms to obtain energy. Understood? Like herbivores, they cannot prepare their own food. They have to eat the herbs, isn't it? So example, deer is there, rabbit is there, cow is there, mice is there, lion is there, human is there, hawk is there, snake is there, isn't it? They are called herbivores. So they have to eat consumers. Clear? Not herbivores, they are consumers. Consumers include entire herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. So here plant is a autotroph, that means producers. Here rabbit, mouse is there, they are herbivores, and snake, they are eating other. Clear? So herbivores eat plant like zebra is there, elephant is there, rabbit is there, cow is there, giraffe is there. So they are eating the autotrophs, that means plants. All right, so one thing you have to be clear: consumer include what? Herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Clear? So now herbivores, organisms that eat plants, example like primary consumers are there: cow, caterpillar, bunnies. Yeah. And carnivores, example, see, fox, wolf, lion, shark. Next, omnivore examples are there: people, bear, pigs, hens. Omnivores. Clear? Herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, all example very nicely given. So nice presentation, you'll like it and you'll feel very interesting, isn't it? So herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. We are omnivores. We can eat both veg and non-veg, both vegetables as well as the meat, isn't it? Now detrivores or decomposers. Clear? Why would they be called environmental recyclers? Because they are recycling, isn't it? They're decomposing the dead organisms, they are decomposing the dead bodies, isn't it? So they decompose excrement dead bodies and live later, returning nutrients to the physical environment, isn't it? So there are fungi, there actinomycetes are there, bacteria are there, they act as decomposers. So example of herbivores, carnivores and omnivores are given very nicely. It's given, see, detritivores. Decomposers are often called environmental recycler because they decompose these substances, clear, leaf litter, returning and all this I have said just now. So student, these are the homework questions. You will write it down in a copy. So first question are as follows, like first question is define ecosystem, second question is define producer, consumer and decomposer with few examples of each, clear, and third question is define herbivores, carnivores and omnivores with one example of each, and fourth question is define a biotic and abiotic component, clear. So thank you student, this was all about today's lecture about ecosystem. Hope you have liked the lecture and watch the entire lecture to gain the basics out of it. And I'm Shomajit sir signing off for today. Again I'll meet in the next class. So by then stay at home, stay safe and study for exams. Thank you class.